What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're going to be doing a slightly different reaction video. I recently just got a comment from Isaiah Stone that says, do a reaction on the Alex Jones settlement, $1 billion for Sandy Hooks. Isaiah, I got you. That's what this video is actually going to be about today. For those that don't know, Alex Jones, for basically the past 10 years, has said the shooting at Sandy Hook was conspired by the U.S. government so they can put regulations on gun control, yada yada yada. This has been going on for like a decade, okay? Like this, every time this is talked about, brought up, where they're like, you're gonna go to court, we're gonna be this. Finding out what it was like the first family that won prior to like the news that came out last night, they got like 40 or 50 million. When I saw that, I was like, yo, is this still going? Are they still talking about this? Is this really still happening right now? And then last night, if you don't know, he's been ordered to pay $965 million in damages for falsely claiming that the Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax. So, that's a lot. He does not have that much money. So, I want to let you know right now, he already said he's gonna go file for bankruptcy because he's not paying it. His lawyer already said they're going to fight it. They're going to do an appeal. So let's just get into this together to see like where this started and how it got to where we're at now with him having to pay $965 million. I wanted to look up information on this about a good timeline, but I also didn't want it to be tainted with like opinions from either side, from the left or the right. I just wanted something that was just like timeline of the facts of how things happened. And Britannica.com, if you don't know what Britannica is, they're the ones that make the encyclopedias. So let's get into this. And as you guys can see right up here, it says conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $965 million in damages for falsely claiming that the Sandy Hook school shootings was a hoax. In the decades since the shooting, Jones' followers have conducted a campaign of threats and harassment against the families of those killed. So for those that don't know, because Alex Jones put out there, he was given documentation that he was told that the government created all this. There's crisis actors out there and stuff. And he was given all this information. He was just sharing it with everybody. Now, he never told his fans to go harass people. They kind of just did that all on their own. But in the same breath, because he was the ringleader of doing it. And I guess also throughout the years, people have told him to like calm it down and stop pushing on it so hard, and he just kept going. So I feel like the $965 million is to be made as an example. So it's like, hey, y'all want to do stuff like this for anybody moving forward. They're going to be like, hey, any of y'all want to do something like this? You're going to have to pay just what Alex paid. So I don't really know. A lot of people are saying this is going against our free speech, which I agree. But in the same breath, the fact that so many of his followers harassed families that actually lost people, that's not good either. But back to the timeline. So for those that don't know, the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting, also called the Newton shootings of 2012, was a mass shooting in Newton, Connecticut on December 14th of 2012 that left 28 people dead and 2 injured. After murdering his mother at their home, Adam Lanza fatally shot 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary School before taking his own life. It was one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. Now, I remember when this actually happened. When this happened and the news came out, the nation as a whole was like extremely sad because we had never seen anything like this before, right? Fast forward to now, there seems like there's a school shooting like every other day. People aren't as shaken up like they were when this happened. Like when this happened, it was just, they talked about this for months, right? A school shooting can happen today. They might talk, it might be a blurb on the nightly news. They'll be like, oh, school shooting happened at such and such, blah, 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 2 people dead, blah, blah, blah. All right, moving on, such and such happened. Like, that's how like short our memory spans are now. Like, we're just desensitized to it at this point. Actually, South Park actually has a good episode about this. School shootings have become so normal. South Park did an episode where Stan's mom, Sharon, they made her seem like she was crazy because she was the only one still freaking out about school shootings.
The whole park could use an upgrade if you ask me. It's become a campout for the homeless.
Are you
joking? You're gonna take 1 second to compare child murder to park upgrades? What is wrong with everybody? You've all gone crazy!
That's really where we are in society right now. So, what ended up happening, the murder of Adam Lanza's mother. So the attack began when 20-year-old Adam Lanza killed his mother, Nancy Lanza, in the home that the two shared in Newton. She was shot 4 times with a .22 caliber rifle. She had purchased the rifle as well as an AR-15, the civilian semi-automatic version of the military M16 assault rifle, and several other firearms that Adam Lanza would use later that day in the years prior to the shooting. Before leaving the house, Lanza destroyed his computer's hard drive, an act that would make evidence gathering difficult for law enforcement personnel. Quick side note, if you are going to have weapons in your house, they need to be properly secured, locked away, where you are the only one able to get to them. I'm just being real. I love guns, I love shooting, but you have to. Everything he used, his mom purchased. And she didn't purchase it for him. That's just stuff that she had. He probably knew how to get into everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have really good security if you're going to have some stuff like this in your house. Because anything can happen. Anything. All right, let's get to the shootings at Sandy Hook. He gathered the AR-15, 2 semi-automatic pistols, and a shotgun, as well as several hundred rounds of ammunition stored in high-capacity magazines, and drove his mother's car to Sandy Hook Elementary School, a public school in Newtown for kindergarten through 4th grade. Leaving the shotgun in the car, Lanza shot his way through a window next to the school's locked security door just after 9:30 a.m. He was immediately confronted by Sandy Hook principal Dawn Hochsprung and school psychologist Mary Sherlack. Lanza shot and killed both women, but the encounter and the sounds of gunfire were broadcast to individual classrooms via the school's public address system. In accordance with previously established lockdown protocols, teachers immediately took steps to attempt to safeguard their students, concealing them in closets or bathrooms and barricading doors with furniture or their own bodies. Attempt from the teachers to try to save their kids. Lanza entered the classroom of teacher Lauren Roussel and killed her and 14 children. He then went to a second classroom where 1st grade teacher Victoria Soto had hidden her students in a closet. She attempted to misdirect Lanza by telling him that her class was in the school's auditorium on the other side of the building. Lanza killed Soto as well as 6 students who attempted to flee from their hiding place. Also killed in the shooting were Anne Marie Murphy, a special education aide, and behavioral therapist Rachel D. Avino. 2 other Sandy Hook staff members were injured. Lanza fired 154 rounds in less than 5 minutes, claiming 26 lives. It's sad. That's sad. The first emergency call from the school was received at about 9:35 a.m., and law enforcement personnel responded within minutes. First officers to enter the building caught a glimpse of an individual dressed in dark clothing, and after hearing a series of shots, they found Lanza near the door to Soto's classroom, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. As the scale of the attack became clear, dozens of state and local police officers descended on the school, which police officials said would remain closed as a crime scene indefinitely. The school would be demolished in 2014 and replaced by a new building, occupying the same site but with a different footprint in 2016. Now, I always thought that was weird. Like, I got demolishing the building because too much craziness happened there, right? Like, you don't want the spirits of, like, the unsettled souls. I always thought, I thought that was great when they knocked it down. I just never understood putting a new building on the same site where that happened. That's weird. That's extremely weird. Investigators determined that Lanza had used the AR-15 as his primary weapon throughout the attack, though he had taken his own life with a handgun. Now we're going into the aftermath. In the days following the shootings, medical examinations of the victims revealed that each had been shot multiple times. While police attempted to uncover a motive for the attack, the scale of the massacre, compounded by the age of the victims, the majority of whom were 6 or 7 years old, sparked a renewed debate about Second Amendment rights. Proponents of gun control focused particular attention on the AR-15 that Lanza had used, as well as the 30-round ammunition magazines he had carried. Some semi-automatic assault rifles and large-capacity magazines had been banned under legislation passed by the U.S. Congress in 1994, but that law was allowed to lapse in 2004. Legislators pledged to introduce some form of gun control legislation in the wake of the Newton shootings, and The president at the time, which was Barack Obama, stated that he would use all the powers of his office to prevent future mass shootings. We see how well that worked out. The National Rifle Association responded by advocating the introduction of armed guards into all American schools. More than 1/5 of public and private schools in the U.S. already employed police or other armed security personnel. The hallmark piece of federal legislation to be inspired by Sandy Hook was the proposed assault weapons ban of 2013. It was introduced by Senator Dianne Feinstein a month after the shootings. The bill banned the sale of more than 150 specific firearm models as well as magazines that held more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Although there was widespread public support for more restrictive gun laws, the bill was defeated 60-40 in the Senate. Another bill, the so-called Manchin-Toomey proposal, named for Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Republican Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, would have mandated criminal background checks for firearm sales over the internet or at gun shows. The bipartisan legislation was backed by a clear majority in the Senate, but the 54 yeas fell short of an agreed 60-vote threshold, and the proposal was rejected. A measure to restrict the sale of large-capacity ammunition-feeding devices was rejected 54-46. Although these initiatives failed at the federal level, similar bills were designed into law in the states of New York, Connecticut, Colorado, and Maryland. Okay, so just so we're all on the same page, they tried to pass a lot of these bills, and it didn't happen. Nothing went through around that time. To be fair, let me say it like this. Let me back it up. I know because of this, it was stated that a lot of people was like, we need to restrict gun sales. We need more restrictive gun laws. Because if you look at other countries, we'll take Japan, for example. It's very hard to get a gun in Japan, right? The levels of like people killing themselves by guns and school shootings and all of that, very low, like extremely, it's like non-existent over there because they have extreme laws on guns. I don't know how to properly implement that in the US, where we've already had so many years where you could just buy guns with no issue. And there's already people that have guns, like mass amounts. So like, even if you put new laws into place, what happens to these people that have like large amounts of guns already? You allow them to keep it, you take it. They're not going to let you take it. I'm just letting you know right now. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot that goes into it versus other countries where like, this really wasn't allowed for the longest anyway. So it's just normal over there to not go get a gun and have one. So it makes it difficult here in the US to even put certain things into place. So for example, New York has very restrictive gun laws, yet people still have guns in New York. It's like none of it matters. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still able to get their hands onto guns. I actually saw a documentary through Vice where a lot of criminals just go to gun shows outside of very restrictive states and they just purchase guns. Like it's really easy. I actually live in a state where you can go purchase a gun without any sort of background check or anything. I can walk into a Dick's right now and go get a gun. Like I can go get me a shotgun, a rifle, all the ammunition. I can pretty much do what I want. They don't really need much. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Walmart, you used to be able to buy guns from Walmart. And I think that stopped a couple of years back because I think somebody had got killed in a Walmart or something with a gun that I think they took out of one of the case. Something had happened where Walmart, they only sell the ammunition and they sell hunting knives. The funny thing about the hunting knives, though, they'll lock up the higher end ones, but then there's hunting knives that aren't locked up that you can still get. And then you can still just like go over to the hardware section and you can get like knives and switchblades from over there. So that needs to get worked on. You look at other places like the UK, I know people were talking about it's hard to get guns over there. Yet, I know people in my Christian group are from the UK and they done told us a million times, they're like, yeah, you know, you can't really get killed from a gun over here, but people walk around with knives and acid and that's how they be taking people out. So there's a lot of people getting murdered with that, which is also equally as bad. So I don't know how you would fix this situation. And like I said, we've gotten to the point where school shootings, we're so desensitized to it now. Nobody cares. It got to the point people were making bulletproof backpacks. Like you can just use it, hopefully your kid to be protected. There's like a thing that pops out to use as a shield, so when you're running, you have a chance at making it. That's how desensitized we have gotten to all this. Very messed up. And yeah, so go from there. Okay. Moving on to the Alex Jones portion. He was given information where he was told that this was a government hoax because they wanted to restrict gun laws at the time. So they planned all of this out and took it out. Now, it's plausible. I'm not going to say he's lying. I mean, the government lies to us all the time about stuff. So if they wanted something to work in their favor, why not do something like this? It sucks that these families had to lose their children in the process, but I wouldn't put it past the government to do something like this, but they wanted to get their way, which it didn't work anyways. So what a waste of human life and everything if you're going to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's evil regardless, but I'm just telling you how, from the point of view of the government. With that said, for him to be so adamant about trying to get the truth out there, you still have to respect the families that lost their kids that day. Or even the ones that lost, like, the teachers that were adults. Like, you have to kind of respect that. They still lost somebody, you know? These kids dying weren't fake. Like, no matter how much you want to push whatever you think the government is doing, you still have to respect it on that aspect. Like, these families lost their children, which is messed up on all levels. Which is why they're making an example out of him, because now he owes over $1 billion. Now, are these families going to get that money? I highly doubt it. He already said he was going to file for bankruptcy. He already said they're going to go to appeal it. He's never going to pay these families, which sucks because they had to deal with so much. And then, you know what? It doesn't even matter anyways, even if he did, because, like, the money is never going to bring these kids back. They're gone. Like, they're never getting these kids back. You have to live with that the rest of your life as a parent. I couldn't even imagine losing my child, you know? So it's a messed up situation all around. But they definitely used him as an example for anybody else that ever wants to go down this path of, you know, trying to get information out, exposing, pushing too hard about something. Because like I said, throughout the years, he has been told numerous times to, like, pull it back and calm down a little bit, and he didn't. So, consequences of his actions. That's basically what I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's messed up. It's just messed up all around. My heart goes out to the families that actually lost their kids. That's tough. And to have to constantly be reminded about it over and over and over, it sucks. It does. Do I think Alex Jones was lying? I don't think he was lying. I think he was very headstrong with the information he was given. And I mean, we got to be honest with each other, man. There are crisis actors out there. There is. We done seen a couple of them. We done seen the same girl in multiple different disasters, playing different people in each one, right? We done seen a chick play a mom to victims and stuff at like 3 or 4 different ones. So we know that it's a thing. So I don't believe he was lying. I just also think there's a line you shouldn't cross while pushing that out there as well. Because you all, like I said, you got to think about the people that actually lost their lives due to this nonsense. So that's my take on it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see me do more content like this, or you want to request that I do content of any kind, Isaiah also requested that I do a video showing you guys how I do these reactions, which I'm working on right now. You guys will see it very soon. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any requests or want to see me do more stuff like this. So until next time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video. If I have to miss a day, the only way I can update you is through my social media. So if you're not following me over there, the link's in the description box below. Make sure you go ahead and hit them. So until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sang.